I feel very lucky being in the United States because I talk to my cousins in Colombia, and half of my cousins don't even have shoes. Not a lot of people know that undocumented students don't get financial aid. They don't know the struggles that we go through. They just ignore it. But if people know and see it and feel what we go through, things are going to change. This documentary, I believe, is really special because we, as dreamers, are actually making the documentary. We learn how to use a camera, we learn how to connect the microphone, how to interview people. So it's really powerful for us to learn all of this and to share the final project to the public. The limitations that you have because you're an undocumented student, and the dream to surpass that and be successful and not let the limitations of the law get to you, that's a dreamer.
Let's also remember that hundreds of thousands of talented, hardworking students in this country face another challenge: the fact that they aren't yet American citizens. Many were brought here as small children, are American through and through, yet they live every day with the threat of deportation. Others came more recently to study business and science and engineering. But as soon as they get their degree, we send them home to invent new products and create new jobs somewhere else. That doesn't make sense.
My name is Trina Wallace, I'm 14 years old, and I'm from New York.
My name is Sandra Montoya, and I'm from Mexico City.
My name is Ignacio Acevedo, and I was originally from Mexico City.
Mi nombre es Eugenia Huehuet, mi edad son 17 años y soy de México, Puebla.
My name is Gabriela Quintanilla. I'm 20. And I am from El Salvador.
My name is Kimberly Gill, I'm 17 years old, and I'm from Mimama, Cundinamarca de Colombia.
As a documented student, I think undocumented students should have the same rights as me because they're the same as me, like they're humans.
I came to the United States 3 years ago in 2010.
I came to New York, United States, when I was 10.
I lived in Bogota with my parents and my older brother and my younger sister. In Colombia, we were very poor. We didn't have any money. So my mom saw that there weren't going to be as many opportunities. So she wanted to come to the United States because they told her that the United States had all these opportunities and that they were going to succeed more than they were going to succeed in Colombia.
Well, my mom just wanted a better future for us and a better education, so she thought that coming to the U.S. would be the solution to do so. But for me, and specifically, and for my sisters, was just the fact that my mom was already here, and so she just wanted us to be together, our family to be together again. And even though I didn't want to leave my country, I also didn't want to leave my sisters to travel by themselves.
My parents have seen the city before, and they knew that for us to get a better life, we had to come somewhere, and we have family here, so they brought us here.
Yo vine a los Estados Unidos en el 2006. Cuando vivía yo en México, mis dos papás o padres iban a trabajar y nos dejaban solos en la casa cuando teníamos más o menos como unos 10 o 9 años. Pues yo vine cruzando la frontera, así se dice, y nos trajo unos que se le llama coyote, algo así, como un poco fea porque pasar a la hora de la noche, en la madrugada, en medio de la nada y a ver cualquier animal o cualquier cosa nos podría pasar. Yo tenía en mente de que tenía que llegar aquí, fuera lo que fuera, porque mis papás me estaban esperando y los quería ver porque los había dejado de ver por hace mucho tiempo, como por 2 o 3 años los dejé de ver y estuve con mis abuelos. Ajá, y es lo que tenía en mente, lo que me motivaba a seguir.
We had to walk around like 3 days, no, it was 5 days. You can expect everything over there, like you can even get killed. It was really scary because you're like waiting for the border patrol to pass so you can go through, and then we saw some like drug dealers carrying the marijuana with them, and then there was like a helicopter like around, and then we had to run like really fast, and I was running and running, but like I couldn't help it. I couldn't feel my legs, and so my brother had to like push me. There was no water and there was no food, and then like the first time we tried to cross, the border patrol took us to like, it was in jail, but we were in a room, like really cold room. There was a lot of people. There was like 500 people, and they took like everything from them, like food, clothes, everything. But then we tried again, and that's when we actually crossed.
There's people in my community that were undocumented, and at first I didn't get it, but then I as knowing them, I was like, they're just like everyone else, and their status doesn't really change them.
Well, I was high classes. I was trying to maintain an A average. Star athlete. I did wrestling, track, cross country, so I was active most of the time. I was participated in a lot of the clubs. Most of the clubs that I could participate, because there were some that had to travel, and since I couldn't travel, I couldn't do that.
And I really wanted to go into mainstream English classes, so I pushed myself. And my junior year, it was really good for me, and my senior year, I got into my school's National Honor Society, and then I graduated in the top 10% of my class.
Ahorita no estoy estudiando porque me salí por otra razón de la que mi papá estuvo ausente por 3 meses y mi mamá estaba trabajando sola y yo me tuve que salir para ayudarle porque no podía mantener a mis hermanitas y a mí. En el trabajo hago diferentes cosas, empaco cebolla o estaqueo cuando se le echa la cebolla para que se vayan echando en bolsitas. Ajá, o a veces nomás se estaquea así como poner a las bolsas, los sacos, en el pedazo de madera que se le dice pale o algo así le dicen.
I actually was the only Mexican or the only Latino in my high school. So it kind of was good for me to get that feeling in high school because it kind of made me become more of a part of here. It kind of made me become adapt better. But then I got shocked once I graduated high school. Then I noticed that I was not the same. That the same rules that applied to everybody else did not apply to me. That the promises that a lot of people made to me were just they were good in heart, but they didn't know what they were saying either.
My reality is that I can't get any financial aid, and I actually went to do my schedule and everything, but then I had to drop off because I wasn't able to pay the tuition. And I got some scholarships, but Like I said, it wasn't enough for the tuition, and my parents can help me because they have the minimum.
I think when a dreamer is under the shadows and they don't tell their friends or anyone that they're undocumented, they feel discouraged. They feel that they have no one to turn to because they'll be judged, and they will.
It's like I work for nothing. So I am proud to say that I graduated in the top 10%, that I won this, that I got that recognition and everything. I don't know, it's a strange feeling that you've accomplished so many things, but at the end it's like nothing. It was for nothing.
My thoughts about not being able to afford college, I didn't have that thought. That thought did not cross my mind. I just figured that there were so many promises made in high school, and the dream was so big that, you know, the American dream, that if you work hard, it's coming. That everybody places up so big that the thought of, like, I'm so good, how can they deny me? It didn't cross my mind. So affording to college, that was like not even a thought until it happened. Then when the thought that came that I cannot afford going to college, it was like, it's like you're hungry, you're really hungry, and they place that they put this buffet in front of you, all your favorite foods, but they tell you that you can't come in, and everybody else can come in, and some people that are not as good as you, and they can come in.
It's a sad day for the dreamers. It continues to be a nightmare for the dreamers. Here we had an opportunity where this failed by 2 votes. We had an opportunity. Individuals have immigrants in their district where they could have stood up and they could have done the right thing, but they didn't.
There were times where I didn't want to, keep on going to go to school or apply for any more colleges, and I thought, I'm just going to end like in a factory working like my mom or working like, other people, and I knew that I had more to give, and I wanted to learn more, and it was just very frustrating. It was very frustrating because I felt hopeless.
Most of us were raised here, and we didn't even choose to come here. We were forced to come here, and that's not a bad thing. But why do we have to pay for that decision and not be able to accomplish our dreams?
It's because we're humans that this bill needs to pass. It's a right. I feel like it's a right. It was not voluntarily that I came to this country. It was because my mom wanted me to, and I had no choice other than to say yes and take off with my 2 sisters. It's not something I decided to do, so I shouldn't be punished for it.
When I did graduate, I applied to colleges just like anybody else, and then I went for the interviews just like anybody else. And my hope was big. I mean, I got to some good colleges, and then it came down to the question where they said, "Are you documented?" When that came, and I had to tell the truth at that moment because there was no way for me to walk around it. I saw the people's face right away. It said, like the window just shot. There's like light everywhere and then just dark. Because they just said, sorry, with no question about it, like, did you do this? Nothing else mattered. After that question, there was nothing I could do. I guess unless I was a genius at that moment, that might have made a difference. But it just said, you're not documented, I'm sorry. And you can't, we had good hopes, but you have no documents, there's nothing we can do.
If everyone doesn't have the same rights, the same opportunities as others, it's not fair. People should be on a level playing field, and if not everyone's getting the same amount of education, people are left behind.
Pues me ayudarían mucho porque como si voy a la universidad, tendría, me pagarían, podría decir que, y entonces escogería la carrera de ser chef y así poder ser lo que quiero ser.
I think knowing that I'm undocumented gives me something to fight for, but it's not about that. It's about fighting for the other dreamers too, the ones that are still in their houses, just working, not graduating high school because they're afraid.
If I had the same opportunities as everybody else, in my time when I was graduating, I would have gone to a college. I could have gone to Bard. I could have gone to Brown. I'm pretty sure I would be somewhere else. I would have been, I could be somebody else, a different person.
Not having the DREAM Act right now, as in right now, it is not fair, right? It is violating those human rights that we are entitled to have. We do live in fear, and that's violating our rights too. Nobody needs to live in fear. Nobody should live in fear. And so, yes, not having the DREAM Act right now is affecting a lot of people, and it's affecting our human rights. And I feel like the government might not realize that. Or maybe it does, but I don't know why it hasn't been passed if that connection is made. It's inhumane.
Just because you don't have a 4.0 GPA, or just because you're not athletic, or just because you don't fit the criteria to be like a valedictorian or to be the top 10, that doesn't mean you don't deserve to go to college. You deserve to go to college, and you have to work hard for it. And no one can tell you you don't deserve. You just got to go for it and fight hard, and we all have to work together to make this bill pass.
We don't want to take other people's rights, but we have the same rights. Maybe not as Americans, but we're still humans. And like I said, many of us consider this our new nation, our new country. It's funny because I actually know more American history than my own country's history.
Pues ser DREAM significa para mí un sueño que me alcanzaría alcanzar todo lo que quiero ser en la vida, lo que quiero ser y las esperanzas, se podría decir.
When I was like crossing, I saw it was like a flower, a yellow flower. It was like really small, but I was like, I'm taking this for my mom. So when I see her, I can give it to her after like 8 years. Yeah. So like it was just having a family again.
When I was like 7, I remember walking with my mom, and I stopped her and I was like, Mom, I want to change millions of people's lives. I want to be like Martin Luther King. I want to make a difference. At the time, I didn't know how or why, but I felt inside of me that I had to make a change, and it was just like, that's what I was brought here for, was to make a difference. And then when I was like around 11, I went to my first immigration rally. That's when it hit me that what I need to do is be the voice of my people. I need to be the voice of the immigrants and fight for their rights. Although I'm an immigrant, but I'm proud to be it, and I want to change things.